Hello there, very good evening and a warm welcome to the news live on Channel I. I'm Sharon Mascarenhas.
Good evening, I'm Clifford Richards. First of all, we'll take a look at the headlines. A five-member panel of Supreme Court judges determined that the provincial council election could not be conducted under the previous method. Agreements of understanding between Sri Lanka and the Maldives regarding 4 sectors on social security and higher education. Professor Carlo Fonseca, who has shown excellence in many fields, passes away. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party holds its 68th anniversary commemorations of the party under the leadership of the President tomorrow. The US is to face a strong tornado in the next few hours. Lasith Malinga renews the World Cricket Record Book.
On to the stories in detail now. A 5-member bench of Supreme Court judges has decided that the provincial council election could not be conducted under the previous law or under the Amendment Act. A communique issued by the President's Secretary says that this decision has been declared following an inquiry made by the President from the Supreme Court regarding the possibility of holding the election. The President has inquired facts from the Supreme Court on the possibility of holding election by taking into consideration of fact that a delay in holding of the poll would deprive the people of their right to vote. According to the communique of the President's Secretary, that a committee comprising of 5 persons was established to demarcate boundaries in October of 2017. The report of the committee was handed over to the Ministry of Provincial Councils and Local Governments. It was not approved by the Parliament, though it was presented to the legislation. Accordingly, an evaluation committee under the leadership of Prime Minister was scheduled to be handed over a report to the President. However, as a result of the committee not fulfilling its obligations properly, the President was compelled to inquire to the Supreme Court's opinion. The Supreme Court bench has unanimously decided that the legislation of the amended Act could not be made into use to conduct a poll in the absence of an evaluation committee report.
President Maithripala Sirisena says that the teacher should intervene to turn the child into an expert on subjects and also a humanist. The President was addressing a ceremony held in Colombo today to hand over teacher appointments to 587 graduates who were qualified in the Western Province Teacher Examination. Letters of appointments have been distributed among teachers who were selected to the first round out of 15,000 candidates who have appeared in the teacher competitive examination held in June of this year. The President has handed over letters of appointments to 10 teachers symbolizing the event. The President further said that the aim of the government is to establish social justice by providing equal opportunities to all in order to create a learned society. The President said that when a child goes to the classroom, he sees another technical child and not a cultural child. The President has recalled that in their small days, they were cultural children. He added that they had not seen a computer, a mobile phone, internet or television. He further said that their houses did not have electricity facilities. He also said that they were cultural children of that age group. The President said, however, the challenge faced by today's teachers is that they have to confront technical children in the classroom. These children would ask questions from a child rather than a child asking from them. Then that child would be a challenge to you. The duration of the class has been made 5 hours to the child and not to the teacher. The child has to live all that. With new developments, the playful child loves the parents and should love him or her in return. The President further said that if there are 40 children in the class, the teacher should have a personal understanding of each of the 40 students. As the teacher in charge of the class, the teacher must love students dearly and look after each of them. The teacher must talk with every child. He also said that the teacher should have experiences on the type of problems faced by the children in their homes. The teacher must be prepared to face all such problems. Therefore, he added that the teachers have an extensive responsibility to look after and love their students.
ආදරය කරන පිරිසක් විදියට ඔබ දරුවන් රැක බලා ගන්නා පිරිසක් විදියට ඔබට මහා කුළුල් වගකීමක් බාර වෙන්නේ.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has arrived in the Maldives on a 3-day official visit. During the tour, memorandums of understanding relating to 4 fields were exchanged. The delegation, including the Prime Minister, was warmly welcomed by the Maldivian Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid at the Velena International Airport. The tour is being conducted on an invitation extended by the President of Maldives, Ibrahim Mohamed Solih. The group, including the Prime Minister, was brought in a special motorcade to the Republic Square in Malé. Thereafter, the delegation was accorded a rousing reception by the Maldivian President Ibrahim Mohamed Solih and Lady Solih at the Isuddin Jetty near the Republican Square. Later on, they were brought to the Republican Square and a guard of honour of 7 gun salutes was conducted by the Maldivian National Defence Task Force. A salutation procession was also conducted. Upon acceptance of salutation, the entourage was carried in a dancing procession that depicted Maldivian culture features to the President's house. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, after signing the VIP guest book, commenced his official talks with the President of Maldives, Ibrahim Mohamed Solih. Later on, 4 memorandums of understanding between the two countries were signed. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe will hold chairmanship of the conference to be held in Maldives tomorrow and the day after. Ministers Rauf Hakim, Vajirabe Vardhana, Daya Gamage, Anuma Gamage, and also included in the Sri Lankan delegation. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and the Maldivian President has also conducted a joint media briefing today. The Maldivian President on this occasion has extended thanks to Sri Lanka for the assistance provided. The Maldivian President said that the Maldivian President's agreements has been reached to obtain the services of organ transplanting surgeries in Sri Lankan hospitals. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe reiterated the need to maintain peace and security and solidarity in the region.
A man of great intellect and of the leftist politics, Professor Carlo Fonseca has passed away today at the age of 86 years. According to the last will of Professor Carlo Fonseca, his body was handed over to the Ragama Medical College after religious observances. Carlo Fonseca was born on the 4th of March 1933. He had his early education at Maristella College, Negombo, and secondary education from St. Joseph's College, Maradana. He had his higher education from the Colombo University and obtained a postgraduate degree from the Edinburgh University in England. Since his young age, he had presented his leftist opinions of the society. He was a senior member of the Lanka Samasamaja Party and also represented the Central Committee and the Politburo of the party. Carlo Fonseca was popular among medical students due to his attractive pattern of lecturing. He had also functioned as the chairman of the Sri Lanka Medical Council, that's from 2012 to 2017. He was also one-time dean of the Faculty of Medicine at the Kelaniya University. Carlo Fonseca was an excellent physician who had never engaged in private practice. Striking features of his life included the conducting of free medical clinics in numerous parts of the island and his opposition to privatize medical science. Carlo Fonseca had rendered a significant contribution to eradicate the usage of tobacco and alcohol. He was the chairman of the National Council to Control Cigarettes and Alcohol. He was felicitated with an award against World Anti-Tobacco in 2012. He had also received the love of the people as a composer of songs and also a musician as well. Well, 2 popular songs composed by Professor Carlo Fonseca are Rattanadue and Ruduruturuwadule. Carlo Fonseca had authored many books. He passed away in his residence today, and according to his wish, the media was not allowed to cover the funeral. It has also been pointed out that Carlo Fonseca, who had committed himself on the education of hundreds of thousands of children, had displayed the excellence of his character by sacrificing his body on behalf of the children after his death.
Minister Malik Samaravikrama says that the readmission of GSP Plus facility has contributed in strengthening and enriching the country's export sector. The minister added that the country's highest number of exports on merchandise and services was recorded in the year 2018. The minister made these remarks at an event held in Colombo today. A GSP Plus information event organised by the European Chamber of Commerce in Sri Lanka was held in Colombo today. Minister Malik Samaravikrama attended the event as the chief guest. The seminar was organised to create a dialogue on the impact of GSP Plus facility towards the Sri Lanka exports to the EU. Representatives of the European Union, diplomatic community and other state and private institutions were present on this occasion.
Sri Lanka has gone through some challenging events over the past 12 months, and it is bright spots like GSP Plus that are helping to bolster our exports. We can be proud that in 2018, Sri Lanka had a record year for exports. We achieved $17 billion in merchandise and services exports. For 2019, we have set a target of $18.5 billion, and despite multiple setbacks we have faced, I'm sure that we can achieve this target. This is still good, given that it will be a 33% increase from what was achieved in 2015. Despite the tragic events like the Easter Sunday bombings, and despite a lot of global challenges like the trade tensions around the world, our exporters have done well and have remained resilient. Export development is a top priority of our government. It is now anchored by the National Export Strategy being implemented since last year with the funding support of the European Union and the technical support, the ITC in Geneva. We have embarked on a range of policy reforms over the past 3 years to support the transformation of our economy towards more trade, exports and FDI. These initiatives will benefit current exporters and will benefit emerging and aspiring exporters among our domestic enterprises. Since the resumption of GSP Plus concessions, the value of Sri Lanka's total exports to the EU market in 2018 has recorded a growth of 5% compared to 2017. As a result of regaining of GSP Plus concessions, Sri Lanka's GSP utilized exports recorded a notable year-on-year growth of 10.1% last year in 2018. 50% of our total exports to the EU utilized the GSP facility in 2018. The overall utilization of GSP Plus preferences has increased marginally from 54.8% in 2017 to 58.1% in 2018. My ministry has set up an action plan for boosting GSP Plus utilization with a task force that regularly monitors this. Under that initiative, many steps have been taken in collaboration with the BOI, EDB and the Department of Commerce.
The Sri Lanka Freedom Party is 68 years old today. The annual conference is scheduled to be presided over by President Maithripala Sirisena at the Sugadasa Indoor Stadium tomorrow. The Sri Lanka Freedom Party was established in the year 1951 under the leadership of the late SWRD Bandaranayake. This progressive force comprised of the Pancha Mahabalavege. This force of 5 power bases came victorious in the general elections of 1956. With that victory in 1956, it came to be known as the year that brought in a great number of revolutionary changes, transforming the Vidyodaya and Vidyalankara Pirivanas into universities. The Paddy Cultivation Act that ensured the protection of the paddy farm workers' rights, etc. had begun. The late Martin Wickramasinghe had called this fall of the feudal lords. The late leader, SWRD Bandaranayake, was assassinated on the 25th of September 1959. He was shot by a man in robes. After that, the leadership was taken over by Madam Sirmao Bandaranayake. Under her leadership, the Sri Lanka Freedom Party won the general elections in 1960 and 1972. A number of new industries were opened. The peopleization movement, the establishment of state banks, the non-aligned government policy, the 1972 Republic Constitution were a few of the profitable programs the country inherited through the Sri Lanka Freedom Party regime. After Madam Sirmao Bandaranayake, Chandrika Bandaranayake Kumaratunga took over the leadership and Mahinda Rajapaksa gained a chairmanship of the party subsequently. The present chairman of the party is President Maithripala Sirisena. The theme of tomorrow's 68th anniversary conference is Verdict in the Correct Direction. Sri Lanka Freedom Party activists from all parts of the island are scheduled to join this event. A group of party seniors has arrived at the Sugadasa Indoor Stadium this evening to inspect the premises.
The 271st model village constructed under the Samata Sevana Yalipibidena Udagamana program was declared open today. The village located in Mulatiana in Matra has been named as Hastirajagama. The reawakened village is comprised of 27 houses with all relevant facilities. A sum of 47.3 million rupees has been spent on the construction of the village. It was declared open by Minister Sajid Premadasa. In parallel to this event, ownership deeds were handed over to the house recipients and housing loans and assistance to low-income families, and several other social welfare activities have also taken place. A gathering including State Minister Buddhika Patirana graced the occasion. Minister Sajid Premadasa said that there are many shortcomings in the economic promotion strategy. There are many discrepancies. He added that the solution is the implementation of an economic growth plan centering on the common masses. He further said that 54% of the national income is being enjoyed by the affluent class. There is the poorer segment of 20%. They are accessible only to 4 to 5% of the national economy. He further said that a development strategy centering on each household family unit, and this should be implemented in a manner to strengthen every citizen. He also said that the best method of generating wealth is to open economy. However, monies generated through the system should be equally distributed among all people in a manner to create social justice. All resources and benefits should be equally distributed. He also said that social democratic strategy should be implemented in this connection. He also called upon everybody to resuscitate the entire country in the government that is to be formed in November or December this year. He has requested the support of all the people-oriented campaign. He further said that Sajid Premadasa will commit himself to protect the entire country and to hand over the economic benefits to the people.
මේ රටේ නිර්මාණය වෙන ඒ ඓතිහාසික දේශපාලන විප්ලවයට පොදු ජනතාව සමස්ත ජනතාව කිසිම කෙනෙක් කොන් කරන්නේ නැතුව මුළු රටම ඉහළට ගන්න මේ මහා ජාතික ව්‍යාපාරයට ඔබලාගේ සහයෝගය ලබා දෙන්න මම ඔබලාට දිවිහිමියෙන් පොරොන්දු වෙනවා. අනිවාර්යෙන්ම මේ රටේ පවුල් ලක්ෂ 61 පුරවැසියන් ලක්ෂ 220ම ඔබලාව රැකබලා ගන්නට ඔබලාව ආරක්ෂා කරන්නට ආර්ථික වර්ධනයේ ප්‍රතිලාභ ඔබලාගේ දෙපතුල ළඟට ළඟා කරවන්නට මේ සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස අපකප වෙනවා කියන එක මේ අවස්ථාවේ ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
The Department of the Attorney General has decided to submit an extradition request to the government of Singapore regarding the handing over of former governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, Arjun Mahendran, to Sri Lanka. Well, this relevant document has been sent to the Ministries of Defence and also the Foreign Affairs. This was disclosed to the media by the coordinating official of the Attorney General, State Attorney Nishara Jayaratne. Coordinating official of the Attorney General, State Attorney Nishara Jayaratne, said that a full-scale investigation has been conducted by the committee appointed by the President in this connection. According to the recommendations of the Commission, the Attorney General has carried forward the activities. In the initial stages, Arjun Mahendran had appeared before the Bond Commission, but later on he had evaded court. As a result, these examinations was named as a main suspect. The Chief Magistrate of Colombo has issued a warrant against him, and later on the CID through the Interpol has issued a red notice. The Attorney General has filed indictments before a permanent 3-bench of High Court judges, and according to the request of the plaintiff, measures has been taken to issue a warrant. According to the extradition law, it is necessary to file indictments to make an offender an accused. Accordingly, the AG on the 28th of June 2019 filed indictments before the 3-member panel of judges of the High Court. Accordingly, members have been taken to hand over, and measures have been taken to hand over in the appropriate manner before the 21,000 documents regarding affidavits of the witnesses to the Ministry of Defence and Foreign Affairs. As a result of these initiatives, the Foreign Affairs Ministry is scheduled to take the necessary measures to make a request from the government of Singapore.
Australia's military intercepted a Sri Lankan boat carrying 13 asylum seekers last month, and Minister for Home Affairs Peter Dutton said today that the Australian Home Minister said the vessel was the 13th boat from Sri Lanka attempting to travel to Australia to seek asylum in the past 18 months.
Home Affairs Department has revealed 6 boats have made the journey from Sri Lanka to Australia since May. The latest, a fishing boat carrying 13 suspected illegal immigrants, intercepted near Christmas Island. According to Border Force, there have been just 12 boats from Sri Lanka since Operation Sovereign Borders began in 2013, indicating a fresh surge in arrivals. Peter Dutton is blaming a bill which makes it easier for refugees and asylum seekers held in offshore detention to be flown to Australia for medical attention. The government is trying to repeal to the bill, and the Senate is expected to make a final vote on the matter next week.
Well, the officials of the Kurunagala police station has taken into custody 2 suspects with 10 live ammunition and T-56 firearms. In the night of 31st of last month, the arrest has been made upon inspection of 2 persons travelling in a motorcycle near the Goa-Kotua junction. One of the suspects was a soldier attached to the Buthala Army camp, and the other suspect is a civil worker attached to the Vijayba Infantry Regiment in Watupitiwala in Nittamua. The firearm and ammunition were found in the jacket worn by the motorcyclist. Later on, upon inspection of the houses of the suspects, another T-56 weapon, a set of weapons cleaning equipment, an air rifle manufactured in Italy, and binoculars used in the detection of weapons and several other items were taken into police custody. The suspects were produced before the Kurunagala Magistrate Court yesterday. They have been detained for 48 hours for further investigations. The suspects were scheduled to be produced before the Kurunagala Magistrate Court again today. You're watching Rupavahini News. We take a short break and we'll be back with more local stories shortly.
බුද්ධිමත් ඇගේ තීරණය ප්‍රීමා ස්ටෙලා අපි හැමෝම කැමති
කොතුමී ෆන් තමයි.
Welcome back to the news, and we have more local stories to follow. Well, parliamentarians of the South Asian countries have taken measures to commemorate the 30th anniversary of the Charter on the Rights of International Children. A ceremony organized in connection was held in Colombo today. Speedy measures are scheduled to be taken for the presentation of the national agenda to safeguard the children's rights. Speaker Karu Jayasuri said that the ceremony that 36% of the population in the South Asian region are children. He added that the future of South Asia depends on the constructive safeguarding of these children. The event has been organized by the South Asian Parliamentarians Forum.
We had a special child protection tsunami response.
We all need to eschew extremism and promote tolerance and moderation with a view to finding lasting solutions for communal practices that affect children, especially the girl child. On this occasion, as we look ahead, I must compliment my colleagues in the Parliament for having taken several initiatives for the welfare of children of their own, and with the assistance of UNICEF, UNDP, and other bilateral partners as well. Parliamentary Caucus for Children, Women Parliamentarians Caucus, as well as the Sectoral Oversight Committee on Women and Gender have been in the forefront to assist the implementation of Sri Lanka's international and national commitments in line with the CRC objectives as well as modern social requirements.
Speaker Karu Jayasuriya says that in order to divert the country on the path of development, it is essential to maintain harmony among the ethnic groups. He made these remarks at the occasion of vesting with the general public the cultural centre in Mukulathur in Mutuwal today. The cultural centre was constructed at a cost of around 100 million rupees. All allocations have been provided by the Sri Lanka Mukulathur Cultural Association. The construction was fulfilling long-felt need. Opposition leader Mahinda Rajapaksa, MPs and ministers have also attended the occasion.
Kalasuri Dr. PSR Shilpadipati has passed away at the age of 75 years today. PSR Shilpadipati was an excellent artist who had shouldered the responsibility in bringing the local drumming and dancing art to the international level. He was a researcher as well. Shilpadipati created local drumming and new melody techniques using the Thammattama and the Danuvere. The Geula created by Shilpadipati using the Gatabere and Daula has become the latest research drum in the Sri Lankan art of drumming. He had functioned as a lecturer in the University of Aesthetic Studies and other local and foreign universities. Remains of PSR Shilpadipati are kept at the Dolalandavatta residence in Thalawathagoda. His body is to be brought to the University of Aesthetic Studies at noon on the 4th of this month. The funeral is scheduled to be taking place at the General Cemetery Boralla on the same day at 5 p.m.
And to bring you the trading details now, the all-share price index closed at 5,878.28 points, dropped by 11.57 points, and the S&P SL 20 index closed at 2,888.34 points, also dropped by 20.10 points at the end of the trading in the Colombo Stock Exchange today. Turnover was over 559 million rupees. A quick check on the weather before we go. The Met Department says that several spells of showers will occur in the western, central, Sabaragamu, southern and northwestern provinces. The department further added that the showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the Uva province and in the Ampara Batiklo districts after 2 p.m. Wind speed can increase up to 50 kilometers per hour at times in the northern province. The Met Department said that temporary localized strong winds may occur during thunder showers. General public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lightning activity. According to the department, on the apparent southward relative motion of the sun, it is going to be directly over the latitudes of Sri Lanka during the 27th of August to the 7th of September this year. The nearest towns in Sri Lanka over which the sun is overhead tomorrow are Jayala, Ganemulla, Anguruwela, Damagulla, Amanporwa and Kottagoda about 12:11 noon.
Well, quite a good description about tomorrow's weather, and that's the cue to end the news. Do enjoy the rest of the programs. Take care. Good night.